Akako and Three Wishes, an audio story by Jessica Cactu. Thank you to everybody on Discord who had helped me make this dream a reality. I came up with the idea back on November the 2nd. I just needed the lines, and over months later, my wish was granted. And so, here we go into the story, everybody. Hope you enjoy this masterpiece that I actually had to work on. So, here is our cast. So, we have Ichiro Lovely as Akako Junko, Aurora Mama Gamer as Eshima Jun, Gacha Angels as Ichiro, I forgot his last name, and then you have me as the genie himself, Aman Ruhal. And if anybody is wondering, this is what he sounds like. And yes, this is his first public voice reveal, so yay. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy. Let me just state this now before we get into it. This story is not canon to the actual series of Jungle Raw Pretty Cure, so this is only a fan-made story. It's not actually canon. Thanks to everybody on Discord who helped make this a reality. So, without any further ado, story time in 3, 2, 1, let's go! After a long day at school, Akako walks into her house. Ichiro was waiting for her, sitting on the sofa. He notices that she has a gold-looking thing in her hand, and he asks,
"Hey, what's that you got there, Akako?"
It's an old lamp that I got from an excavation session in class today.
"Oh, it looks pretty."
Eshima walks in from the kitchen, looking at the lamp, and then feeling a little down and annoyed.
It looks a little bland to me.
I beg to differ, Eshima. Why don't you cheer up?
Because a stock girl doesn't know how to smile.
Whatever.
After looking at the lamp for some time, Ichiro then suggests to Akako,
"Maybe if you rub off the dust, it will look better."
I'm unsure, Ichiro.
As she says this, she rubs the lamp with her hand.
I don't think that's going to.
She stops as she looks in shock as the lamp glows a lightning blue. After a couple seconds, it begins to spew out gold-colored smoke, and Ichiro begins to panic.
Ah! Take cover!
Agreed.
All three hide for cover as the smoke begins to almost endeavour the whole room. After a couple more seconds, roughly around 10, all three have found a safe hiding spot. However, something else was going on that they didn't even expect to happen. From somewhere within the smoke, which, by the way, was really, really thick, they could hear what sounded a bit like, yelling? The smoke completely cleared away to reveal the figure, who was a black silhouette within the smoke at the time. Now he was shown in his entirety. He was actually blue, and he had maroon hair, a midnight-coloured jacket, which was more a bit like a vest. Well, sort of. He also had a same-coloured cross, as in a Christian one, which was the same colour. You can actually see that on the thumbnail on the screen right now, actually. And he also had the same coloured sash. They were all a midnight blue, more or less. They were all either midnight blue or just a midnight colour. However, though, he had no lower half to speak of. It was just the golden smoke from earlier, so not all of it completely went. Not only that, he also had maroon sleeves. 10,000 years will give you a crick in your back, and your neck while I'm at it. Hang on a second. Using what can only be described as aura-like magic, Akako glowed a light blue and was lifted into the air, all of a sudden, and she levitated there, just about frozen. The blue figure backed up. Yes, the three had now peeked out to see him, and let's just say Ichiro was the most shocked of the three. The blue figure backed up slightly, and he actually stretched his arms right upward, and actually more or less had to sort out both cricks he had, both in his neck and back. So he actually moved his back backwards and forwards, and after that, straight after, he was moving his head up and down rather quickly. And then he flicked it right back. And he was groaning all the way in the process. Oh, does it feel good to be out of there? It was so cramped in there. Honestly. He dropped his arms back down, and he actually noticed the three staring at him in shock. And he looks at them, more or less puzzled, as in like, what are you staring at? Sorry, I couldn't help it. I love me some twists and turns. Back to the story. Eshima and Ichiro were the ones who were in shock the most. And she's just like, what?
I've never seen someone like you before.
Neither have I.
Akako, still in the air, is struggling to get back down to the ground. Meanwhile, back on the ground, Ichiro actually had a thought in his mind that clicked.
Are you a genie? Like in Aladdin?
The blue figure looked at Ichiro and smiled. Then back up at Akako, who then used his magic to bring her back down to the ground. And he smiled at him. Why, yes, I am the genie of the lamp, he said with a little smile. But then he pulled a more questionable look. Now then, which one of you was responsible for setting me free? He asked, and Akako felt a little guilty, but she had to tell the truth.
I did it. I was the one who freed you.
The genie looked at her with a little bit of a thought look on his face, but he also had a bit of a smile going on as well. Well, if that's the case, then you are my master. Akako is straight up shocked by what the genie just said, and she just belted out,
Master?
Yes, you are my master, and I shall grant you 3 wishes for getting me out. After he said that, Ichiro began to feel really, really jealous.
I'm so jealous I should have rubbed that lamp.
Calm down, Ichiro. There are 3 of us, and there are 3 wishes, so why don't we share the wishes between us?
The genie looks at the duo, and then face palms himself in, more annoying, what's the word? Annoyance, that's it, in more of annoyance. I was about to get to that. He looks at Akako with a more, formal look to him. You may use your 3 wishes with your friends, but you will only get 1 wish each. Akako begins to think. She nods in agreement to what the genie just said. However, Ichiro interrupts.
What are wishes?
You seriously don't know what wishes are?
No.
The two begin to argue. Akako just looks in shock at the duo as they begin to fight. However, the genie wasn't having any of this, if you'll excuse me saying this word out loud, bullshit. Excuse me, everybody. Excuse me. I didn't mean to say that, but I just couldn't help it. It was cooped up in my system. He wasn't having any of this rubbish, and he actually just yelled out loud to cause a couple things to happen.
Enough!
Thunder emits the whole room as the genie yells aloud. However, he calms down his anger afterward with a little sigh. I normally can control my anger very well, but you two have just nearly made me blow it. Anyway, wishes are like desires. They are things that you really, 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 really want, but you just cannot get them normally. And you three do have the power to change that, as long as you follow the guidelines, or rules as you like to call them. Let me explain. There are 4 rules you have to follow.
And they are...
The genie disappears and reappears right next to Eshima, showing a bit of teleportation. He then explains the first rule, followed by the second, and then the third. Rule 1, I cannot kill anybody. So, don't ask me to kill any murderers or criminals for you. Rule 2, I cannot make anybody fall in love with you or another person. So you can't be all lovey-dovey and that sort of thing. Rule 3, I cannot bring people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture, and I don't like doing it. Lastly, you cannot wish for more wishes. 3 is all you get, and it's all you need. Akako now finally understands the rules.
Ah, I see. So all 3 of us are your masters.
Yes. Now, I assume you already know how to make a wish?
Pretty sure I do.
Same.
Yup, good with that.
Great. So, what will your wishes be, masters? Akako went into deep thought at last. So, what could she wish for? She could wish for literally anything in the world. Money, fame, wisdom, heck, even food if she wanted. That'd be a bit of a waste. After a couple seconds of thinking, she finally had an answer.
I know! How about I wish to have the power of fire?
1, I think you already have that. And 2, you used up all your wishes.
Akako didn't think. She was already a pretty cure at that point, and she actually had fire powers. And this caused her to go into more of a look of shock, but it was already too late. The wish had already been said. So she had to go ahead and deal with it. Your wish is my command. The genie had stated the phrase rather formally. He clapped his hands, and the next second, Akako was endeavored in a complete red aura. That faded after a couple seconds. Wish granted.
No way!
Yes, Lei! But since you have used your wish, you cannot wish anymore.
It's okay. The wait was worth it.
Next, it was Ichiro's turn to wish. He had the second wish, so he had to go into thought. But, however, since of his childish attitude, he tends to say what he's thinking aloud.
How about something cute? No. How about something...
Make up your mind, Ichiro!
Oh, well, I do have a good wish in mind.
The genie smiled at Ichiro, and he bowed, this time going for a way more formal approach. Say your wish, O master of mine.
I wish I had the power to fly!
Very well then. Your wish is my command. He did the same thing as before. He clapped his hands, and this time a yellow aura endeavored around Ichiro. To which, after it faded, he looked down at himself and looked puzzled.
I don't feel any different.
Do not worry. You will learn how to use your new power with time. I promise. Now then, blue one. State your wish.
Well, I'd stay the way I am. Stock people are unique from other people.
Seriously, Eshima? You can wish for anything. Why not a superpower like mine?
Because we are heroes, aren't we?
Yeah.
I do advise you to be careful, as this is your last wish. Once you use this wish, I will be gone for good. So please, do not waste this wish. In agreement to this, Ichiro nods.
You'd better be careful when you use your wish, Eshima.
If there's one thing I'd rather have than nothing is peace. So I wish there was world peace.
Hearing this wish, the genie has a little debatable look. Well, I shall do my best, but I'm not making any promises that it will last forever. But a wish is a wish, so your final wish is my command. One last time, the genie claps his hands, and this time a spark comes off his hand. There's no aura endeavors or anything this time round, but this time he begins to glow gold. Not aura-wise, but almost completely. He looks at the three. So, you have now used up your 3 wishes, so now my time with you is up.
But hey, at least you got a bit of room to stretch out in. Am I right?
Well, at least I managed to get the crick out of my neck and back, but it is time for me to go. He holds Akako's hand for a very short amount of time. I bid you farewell, master. Akako tears up a little bit.
Goodbye, Genie.
The genie smiles one more time before disappearing. Well, back into the lamp, obviously. Now that he is gone, the three finally have a little chat, face to face.
Well, look at the bright side, girls. We have new powers to use.
Yeah, although as a cure, I do have a few fire abilities. But at least I get to burn the house down.
No! Well, I do have a good joke.
Which is...
What did the carpet say to the floor?
I don't know. What did the carpet say to the floor?
It said, don't worry, I got you covered.
Good one.
Eshima rolls her eyes and she puts her smile mask on,
Ugh.
bringing an end to the story. Thanks for listening, everyone. This actually took a month to actually get out. Well, over a month, actually. Happy December, everyone, as well. Happy December. I haven't been posting all that much, getting hyped for Christmas and everything. But, oh my god, I'm just so happy that I'm managing to get this out. Also, sneak peek, there's also going to be a separate version of the story to Courage Wheel's Pretty Cure called Japada's Deepest Desire. That's possibly going to come out next month? Next year? Possibly around January 2022. I'm also heading back to school next month as well, on the 10th. So get ready for some more videos on the way. Fingers crossed. And thanks for listening to the story, everybody.